Today we are sitting with one of your favorite actors. I know you love him and you've seen him on Queen Sugar. You've probably seen him on Single Ladies. We are here with the actor, the famous Timon.
How you doing?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing what I can while I can.
Awesome. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
Acting.
Mm.
Why acting?
I love it. I'm an artist, a visual artist. That was like my first found talent. You know, I've been drawing since I was 5 years old. Just naturally, you know, I got kind of cocky in art class because I'm like, oh, I already know all that stuff. But I'm also an author. I wrote a self-help book called Who the Hell Do I Think I Am? But I'm working, I'm almost completed with my science fiction novel.
Nice.
I'm a big nerd, so
nice.
I like information. And
That's good.
When I found out, I'm like, I want to share this with the world.
Right.
But tell my own story. There's some fiction in there, but some fact in there.
So let's talk a little bit about Queen Sugar. So you have pretty much one of the starring roles on the show.
Right.
So how do you feel like, okay, I see myself in this character in some way?
Well, for one, the script is very well written, and the messages that were conveyed were very clear. You know, but not only clear, they were very, very familiar. I've been in positions where I've been vilified for something that I may have done. It may not have been right, but it wasn't horrible in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So in Davis's world, what he was doing was just the way he does things and operating based on the cards that he was dealt. Similar to what Durrett was doing when he did things that he was, you know, getting scrutinized and penalized for.
Right.
And so I saw that, and I was like, I could, you know, and I didn't do what he did,
right,
but I can emote, I can relate to what sort of feelings he would have in this situation. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And as I kept reading it, I was like, I can relate to this, I can relate to that. So I was drawn into the life of this character already because I'm like, I can just recall certain things that happened and just give that energy back to the scene.
Right. And
it's just it's more real life to me than they think because I am recalling a real instance but in a different setting.
Right.
So when I read it, I was like, oh, I got this.
Right.
When I saw it, I was like, I know this dude.
So it came off as more natural than acting.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing with me. The more life you go through, the more you can relate to certain characters. You know, I have things that have had me cracking up laughing till I couldn't breathe. My abs were hurting, and I have moments where I just was so despondent and distraught and afraid and frustrated that it made me angry and hateful. You know, I've become a very dangerous person to myself, you know, but to other people. Well, the jobs that I've had, I was just looking for something that I could just release all this stuff in me. And so with Queen Sugar, you know, you have that pressure cooker. Queen Sugar is my pressure valve. Now you have somewhere to put this, and it's not destructive, it's constructive. Because even though a lot of people may not hate Davis now, but I don't hate him, but he can't come to the party.
Right.
You know?
Right.
He's one of those guys. Like, he ain't that bad, I don't mess with him like that. You know? And I was able to put all that energy into this guy, knowing the different the stuff that comes with it, the emotional component that comes with people that watch the show. I was so glad that I was able to take all of that stuff that I was going through at that moment in my life, where I was at my rock bottom at that moment, and I can say, I'm going to take all of that and put it into this, and I can pick and choose which parts I want to, you know, place in the role. So that's how I can relate to Davis, because I've been at my highest highs and my lowest lows, and everything in between I can insert it into the life of Davis coming from the life of Timon.
So let's switch gears a little bit. I'm going to mention some quotes or words to you, and you tell me what it means to you or what do you think of when you hear it.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. First quote. In order to blow up, you're going to have to be set on fire first.
That is a quote from a friend of mine from college. You know, I was so ready. I was like, I can't wait for this and that. You know, some of the things that I'm doing right now were the things that I talked about to her, and she said, you know, she had this one wise moment, because we always had fun moments, laughing. You're one of those people that you can just hang out with and just crack up with. And then there was this moment where she got serious. And I was like,
this is new.
Like, yeah, this is brand new to me.
Right.
And she said, I'm gonna tell you, it sounded like someone's grandmother's spirit entered her body. She said, but I'll tell you. You know, in order to blow up, you're going to have to get set on fire first. And I said, where did you get that from?
Right.
So she said, I forgot what she told me she'd gotten it from, but I'd never heard it put that way before. And I was like, all right, you know. But I did not know that fire would be on me. I was getting burned up for a long time. But what it does is when you go through that, like fire is also, it can be destructive, but it's also a purifying thing, you know. And that fire burned away all of the other stuff that was weighing on me. Because it galvanized me, it helped me to be stronger. You know, it's like when you're folding a katana blade, without that flame, without that intense heat, that blade would not be as strong as it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that fire, I think, you know, I may not like how I've gotten here, but I like where I am and who I am because of it. It was tough, but if it wasn't that tough, then I would not be the person and the actor that people are. Who people get to see right now.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that fire to you?
That fire was having to make do and learning how to make do with way less than you had ever had before. Having to sell certain possessions that you could have used or you like to keep, but you decided, I want this, but I don't need it, and to sell it for way less than what you paid it for, just so you can make rent, just so you can pay your cell bill, just so you can have a couple loaves of bread, some peanut butter and jelly, and a half a gallon of almond milk that'll last you for the next 10 days until this residual check you've been waiting on comes through. Things like that, where you can't, when you're not in control of your movement, you feel like you're, even though you're free physically, emotionally you're in bondage, psychologically you're in bondage because you are not moving the way that you want or in the direction that you want. It can be debilitating, and that fire is the thing. If you can keep from getting burned up and consumed by it, that's the thing that's going to strengthen you at the same time. It's uncomfortable to be strengthened that way. It's just like when you work out. You want to get in shape, you're going to be sore in the first few workouts. It's going to hurt, but that you know that hurt is the thing that you need to get stronger. So,
success.
Happiness. You can be a billionaire and miserable. That's not success to me. If you're not happy with who you are and how you are and where you are in life, being rich and miserable or having access to things and being miserable is not success to me. Success can be making that little child that's unhappy smile until their mom gets back. You know, success can be, you know, cooking a meal and you got that recipe right and you made your guests very happy. It can be something very simple, but a lot of times we use the Americanized view of success. You know, money, fancy cars, nice home, access to a lot of things, pretty girls wanting to hang out with you in VIP, things like that. That's all fun and it's good if that's what you do. But for me, I think success to me expands beyond that. Because at the end of the day, money doesn't make you happy. The things that you get with money make you happy. If money's no good, then how are you going to be happy? So I learned to be happy without money. That's another thing that the fire did for me. When I was sitting there living on an air mattress for a year and a half and able to just watch silly YouTube videos on my phone, at that moment, that's what gave me joy. Like today was a successful day. I was seen by people as opposed to viewed by people. So I had a successful day. And you have to break it down to that bare bones of the structure of everything to understand you have little successes all the time.
Yeah.
That bus almost left and I caught it that way. I ain't got to wait on this next one.
Yep.
That, to me, that's a success.
Yeah.
You're not receding, you're going forward. So
you mentioned a lot on your post when you first started shooting with Queen Sugar, loving this journey. Everything was loving this journey. What is different about this journey that you loved so much?
I went through the hottest of fires right before it. You know, it's when if you take a sport and the further you go along, let's just say the NBA, the further you go into the season and you make it to the playoffs, then the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and you make it to the big game, and then you win. All that hurt and pain, and then you get that payout, you get that thing, and then after that, sticking to it, finally got you that reward that you have, and it is amazing when you can hold on long enough to where you can, you know, and all that holding on, that's strengthening you. It's strengthening you. And if you can just hold on, when you let go, you are way stronger than you were. So sometimes you have to let go, and other times you got to hold on. and you know what I'm saying, then just let that go.
Right.
And other ones say, no, don't give up, man. Just hold on a little bit. Certain things are worth holding on to. And when you're going through that fire, you only holding on to the things that you need to hold on to. The rest of the stuff, you let it go because you realize that's nothing but a burden. If I got to hang from a cliff, the last thing I want on my back is a backpack. I want everything else off. I'm just going to hold on to this thing. And once everything is gone, I have the strength to pull myself up. And I don't have all that stuff weighing me down. Right. Another analogy. You get what I'm saying?
I got you. Favorite song?
Do you know Drew Hill?
Yeah.
These Are the Times?
Yes.
I don't know what it is about that song.
You still like that song?
I listen to that song like 6 times a week.
Wow. That's a good one.
Another one, I think one of my newest favorites is Bruno Mars' Versace on the Floor.
Oh, yeah. I love that one too.
That song, it's a complete song to me. But I don't really have any favorites, but there's a list of favorites that I have as far as songs and foods and colors and movies and things like that.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Producing, directing, and being the author of the #1 best-selling science fiction novel in history.
Speak it.
That's right.
So before we wrap things up, is there any current projects that you're working on right now that we don't know about that you can talk about?
Myself. This last 2 seasons of Queen Sugar and the life that I have been thrust into now has taught me a whole lot. A whole lot. And so for me, there are certain things that I'm still processing. Why do I feel this way? Why am I doing this? Or what is that? I mean, my whole thought process of what I'm going to do in a day has changed. You know, the way I interact with people, because I having what I have now makes me appreciate where I was before I had this. That project myself it's an ongoing project, but right now it's one that I'm coming on the heels of a 2nd season of a show that's gotten so much praise and love and energy behind it. It would behoove me to make sure that I work on myself, because if Timon Durrett is right when he goes onto set, he can give you more of that. But the biggest set that I've ever been on is the set of life. And on this set, this is a set that we're on right now. Within a set, I have to make sure that I am giving my best life performance now that I've learned more from my previous performances. You know, to just put it, you know, in that kind of world. So that's what I'm working on. And I like how we ahead of schedule and we under budget in this thing, you know. It's just feeling good.
Thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Petra Elise TV.